Hi, I'm Lars. Welcome back to the shop. This video is going to be about how we built this Outdeco privacy wall and why and how we had to put supports on for this lower deck. If that interests you, please like the video, please subscribe to our channel, and let's get to it. It's an Outdeco wall system, but the walls on the Outdeco, and I will show you this. This is, in my opinion, for the wind that we get out here, this is about maybe a 1/16 of an inch thick and might be 3/32, but I think it's not strong enough for the wind. So I think that we need to put some posts inside of these posts to make these posts stronger. They say you can just bolt these to the side of your deck or stick them in the ground or whatever, and I'm not going to put them in the ground because they're going to rot. Also, we need the height of them, and bolting them to the side of the deck, we get up to 50-mile-an-hour winds out here, and I think that will eventually just, with the wall and the wind, it's just going to push it over and break it. So what I've done is I've bought some 3/16 inch square tubing and some 3/16 inch plates, and I'm going to weld this to this. Now in order to do that, I need to put some holes in this so I can bolt this to the deck. Again, I'm not a welder, okay? I don't weld for a living. Just starting to learn how to weld, and the only reason I am is because I got some friends that are welders and they didn't have time to do this, all right? I will tell you, it's not as easy as it looks. The techniques are there, but it does take a lot of practice, and I've been practicing, and I do have a video that's going to be out of me doing some things. Maybe I might release it, I don't know. Okay, so the first thing you need to do if you're ever working with metal is you need to get a scribe. Okay, these things here are like 10 bucks a piece. These are made of really strong metal, so they don't tend to break that often. But we need to figure out where these guys are going to go. So I know I need to put a circle in the middle. Either way, I know I need to put the post in the middle. So I'm going to draw an X on here like this. Well, not completely, but just into the middle part, enough so I can catch where the post is going to be. Like that. I don't know if you can see that, but there's an X on it. That allows me to know where the center of this is, where I need to drill that hole. And now I just need to measure across these. These are 4.5 by 4.5, but they may be a little bit off on either side. You never know when the guys, you know, cut these with the thing, if it moves or whatever. And I will mark where the center is on each side, so how far in it is and how far down. And then on here, I'm going to measure from this side to this side and find out where the center is. I'm going to put a mark here, and then I'll do the same thing on the other edges. This way I know that the centers are lined up. If I try to draw a square on this plate and try to set this piece of steel on top of it, a lot harder to do that, okay? But if you draw the lines, you can line a line up a lot easier than you can trying to get all the edges square, front, back, and center, and everything else, all right? All right, so my camera turned off while I was welding, but I do want to show you guys my weld. So I don't think it's too bad. I mean, there's some spots in here that probably could be better, but I don't think it's too bad for first time welding. Like right here, I think this here could be, it's a little hot, a little better right in there. It's cold roll or hot rolled. I did weld it, I did grind it clean, and it is square. So I'm going to show you what this is going to be for now. So like I said, these are the poles here. They're very thin, and we need something that's going to keep with the wind. So these here will slide over the top of this, and then I will drill some holes through and tap the 3/16 so I can put some Allen screws in here and here on each side, and then that'll keep it in place. And I believe once this is bolted to the ground, I think it'll work. So everything about steel, where we got the Outdeco post, the steel that I bought and everything, will be in the comments. And I will give you guys give these people a little call out. MetalDepots.com, they're out of Kentucky. Their shipping's really cheap. Okay, for the metal that we did, it was probably 1/3 of the price what I could have bought anywhere in the Columbus area, Columbus, Ohio. Shipping was 20 bucks. Really good. Gingway is out of Plain City, Ohio. If you guys are in the area and you need steel, that is where you need to go. You need to just pick up the phone, give them a call, ask to talk to a man named John. He runs their thing. Ask him, say, hey, look, I heard. You can say you heard here on Lars Workshop if you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm not affiliated with them, but you know, tell them you heard on the internet or something, and that you guys sell steel. And they'll say, yeah, what do you need? And they'll tell you if they have it or if they don't have it. If they don't have it, Metal Depot will have it. Any of the bolts and stuff that I use on this channel is boltdepot.com. Okay, you're never going to find a cheaper price for bolts. I guarantee it. Well, I can't guarantee it, but when you go to the big box stores, half the amount is twice the price. All right, so I got 50 bolts here. Spent 31 bucks. If I would have bought 20 bolts, it would have cost me 40. You guys do the math. All right, on to the next one of these. Probably not going to film all me welding all this stuff up. Kind of gets a little boring. But when we start putting them in place, we'll get that film as we do it. Yesterday I couldn't get those screws out, but I don't know if you watched the demo of the deck, keep on replacing your bits when you can't get them out, because these are softer metal than the screws, and if you chip these off they won't grab a hold of the Phillips heads real well. So replace one of these out will help you get these older screws out. All right, so now we got the second post in. As you can see, this is pretty sturdy. Again, drilling the holes, pain in the butt. Had to put 2 washers on the outside of this just to keep it level. We did not grind this one off because the first one we did, I don't think it really made that much of a difference. We still had to put some washers on it to get it to level up. So the washers that are going in are going underneath the plate so we can get the post more plumb. Other than that, this one here went in pretty good, and it is really tight. Now what we need to do is plug the back side of these holes here, which Susan's about to do, and then we'll put the side brackets on and start loading wood in. See how long this is going to take. Okay, in order to keep your boards level between each section, and there's only 2 sections here, you can do this with a string. You could probably tie a string around this, but it's going to be hard to get this down in here and move it around. We elected to put one of the decking boards, the cedar boards, on the outside of it and clamp it, and then we put a level on it to make sure it was level. These boards here were smaller and they got to go on the inside, so we crossed the level this way and made sure one side was level, held this up some, put a screw in it, drilled a hole, put a screw in it, did the same thing on this side so this was level, so then this one is the same level as that. Repeated the process right here, put the level perpendicular on the 2 of them to make sure that these 2 planes were the same plane. Did the same thing on the other side to make sure these were in the same plane. Put a screw in this side, put a screw in this side, checked them for level, everything's good. Put the other sets of screws in the bottom, and then you can remove this off here. Now, before you start putting in any of these boards, you're going to want to put some sort of a brace at the top. I know in the Outdeco instructions it says no, but they're installing this on a perfectly flat plane, and they're only doing it with 2 posts. Alright, so that's always going to end up perfect. We mounted this post with a piece of 90-degree angle bracket to our house, so this is not going to come off here. So we know this is 100% perfectly level because we checked it with the level. But when you get to the next post, this one was off a little bit. Alright, if you start just putting in your decking post and moving this over so they fit and screwing them in, you're going to have some problems when you get to the next bay or next section. So here's our recommendation, is to level up this post and put in a piece of scrap board. We had some scrap decking boards laying around, like treated decking boards, not cedar. So we put a screw in that side and that side, so this is not going anywhere. And then we went to the next post, which is down on the other deck, and did the same thing. And so we put this out for three sections. The rest of the posts are all 100% perfectly plumb. So we don't know if we're going to need to put them in there or not. But these 2, just because of the angle of the concrete, the angle of the porch, transitioning from the porch to the deck, these 2 here ended up being just a little bit out of plumb. But like I said, the rest of them are in plumb. Now we can pick just about any of these sections and we can start filling with cedar boards. Alright, when putting these guys in, you got to make sure that you're keeping these boards level. They're not going to be perfectly level, but you want to keep them as close as possible. And throw a level on this side, and then go and put the level up on top, and then go to the other side and get it leveled up. Hold this for me, Susan. And then finish putting in the rest of the screws, which is only 1 on each side. Try to keep them as level as you possibly can, because being that if you're putting cedar in and you put this at an angle, it will either pull the cedar down and tear through the other screw, or it'll just tear the cedar up. So let's take a look at that wall. That wall looks pretty daggone good. Now we have put this little basin here, and I'm going to step down on this, give you a better angle on the wall. You can see it. We split some of the stuff at the bottom, as you can see, to let air go through, and they gave it some privacy, a little bit of split at the top. And then this is what it looks like from the other side. Now remember the bottom, we had that big open area, and what we did is we took some decking boards from the original wall. So the wall was made of decking boards, and we just put this guy here in and covered it up. Now what we'll do next spring is there's going to be a bunch of gravel back, and we got a backfill in here, and we're going to add some bushes across the front of this. Other than that, I think it came out looking pretty good. Well, I hope you learned something from this video about how to install an Outdeco privacy wall, and some couple different ideas about how to put supports in where you need them. The video was intended to not only talk about the install of the Outdeco wall, but also to show people that even if you buy something from a store, you can always customize a little bit or add to it for your particular needs. All right. If you liked the video, please click like. Please subscribe to the channel. You're always welcome back here in the shop. And as always, have a nice day.